What's up, everybody? It's Jacob. Time for the Sunday channel update. I usually do these for my loyal viewers and fellow content creators. Yeah, this week has been pretty rough. Lot going on. Personally, my mother had her shoulder surgery, which went well. She's home recovering, so I had to jump in for a few days there and help out here and there around the house. So I think we got her settled in. Everything's good there. Been making some progress on the AI games that I talked about in my Whopper video last week, but I ran into a big technical barrier. And it's not because of a lack of skill or anything on my end, it's Google. There's a critical piece of software that I use that needs Google to authenticate so that it can get access to my YouTube channel and watch the chat messages. And I'm not the only person experiencing this. It appears to be random, and it's been happening across all kinds of different regions in the world and on several different pieces of software. And I've been getting into those communities and talking with people and helping troubleshoot. I'm trying to get all those communities together to go to Google and say, look, Google, it's not us, it's you. Because a lot of people are saying, yeah, I went and I messaged Google, got customer support, and they always say, no, it's your software. When we can all prove that we all, for those of us that have multiple YouTube channels, um, some channels can authenticate just fine, others cannot. So yeah, it's a really weird sporadic problem. And in software engineering, that's actually one of the most difficult problems to solve because if you can't reliably reproduce the problem, you can't fix it. And this is also kind of part of the problem with the software developers because when I was first talking with them, and this is also a lesson in how you work and collaborate with people and not lose your temper or lose your shit and just be professional the whole time. Um, the software developers, particularly of Streamer.bot, the application that I need to get access to my live stream chats, so that y'all, what my goal is so that you can go in there and type commands and then have the AIs do things. That's and part of the games that I'm working on. But because I can't get their software to authenticate with Google to give it permission to get into YouTube on that specific on the Gen X Jacob channel, but other channels that I've had for other companies and other projects I worked on, no problem, get in just fine. So I demonstrated that. I even did screen recordings, sent them into Google. So I demonstrated to Google that it's not me, it's them. Um, Getting back to the software developers, when I first got in there, I was like, oh, okay, they're having a problem, but I worked with them patiently, and they demonstrated it was Google and not them, and that they're totally stumped, and they've been trying to talk to Google, and Google saying, no, it's not us, it's you. Uh, Another company, kind of a similar kind of conversation. So it gets to this point where you get finger pointing, and it's very frustrating, and everything's stonewalled. So yesterday I got on YouTube and I did something called escalation, which is, if you've worked in software or any kind of support environment, the person you're talking to is not solving your problem, or they maybe they don't have the knowledge, or they're just following a flow chart where they go, if this, then that, and the flow chart doesn't have your problem in it. You go, yeah, I want to escalate. I'd like to talk to a manager or somebody with a bit more technical skill or authority. So I actually escalated 2 times. And all of them, they're all just like, yeah, well, we can't verify what you're saying. And what's funny is, like, they make this decision within 2 minutes, and what they need to verify what I've shown them is not like a quick 2 minute decision. They're just basically giving me the answer to cover their ass. So that's one frustrating aspect to working with technical stuff, especially a big company like Google. And they just don't want to admit anything's wrong, because then there could be like a technical or a liability layer that could lead to a lawsuit. That's just how big companies operate. Anyway, that all being said, that wasn't a ramble. There actually is a point to this, is that until I can get that, until Google and the other software developers kind of get together and collaborate, which will eventually happen, and the problem will get fixed. There's just no obvious path forward at the moment and no like estimated time of arrival when the fix will come. That being said, I do have other channels that work, so I'll just continue the development that I'm doing, um, to at least get moving forward so that when, it works for Gen X Jacob channel, my channel, that you all watch me on right here, right now, then yeah, I'll switch the swap software to talk to all of that. But yeah, it's just kind of the whole point I'm making is like, don't let one thing stop you. Just keep pushing forward and, make progress is the whole point of what I was trying to get to. I'm sorry, that was a long-winded way to get to like don't give up, keep going. But yeah, that's just been a really frustrating aspect to my week, is dealing with much larger companies that have, you're just a little fish, and your little problem doesn't matter, when in fact, because of the way they operate, they don't see all the fish having the same problem in aggregate or as a whole. They see every single one as an individual thing. They don't see the relationship to it being a much larger problem. And that's just typically how big companies work, because all the they're all siloed and they don't talk to each other. So that's why I kept escalating and saying, hey, you need to talk to these communities. You need to actually go look at this problem, because these people are very talented at what they do. These programs have been battle tested. They've been around for years, and the way it's breaking, it's intermittent. We're not going to solve this in isolation. It has to be together. And I just could not get Google to do anything. But it turns out one of the developers of Streamer.bot has friends that work inside of Google. So I ended up giving him my ticket numbers, my chat conversations, all my videos and everything. So hopefully that'll be enough for them to like say, hey, there's somebody here that's actually gone through and shown that this is really the problem. It's not what you think it is. Because that was the other thing too. Google kept repeating what I was. Um, this is a very common tactic in customer service, to repeat back what the problem is to you, and they kept repeating it back wrong. And I don't think anybody is really truly that stupid. After I showed them what I did, I think they were purposefully making it something that it wasn't, just so they could at the long end of the hall say, nope, it's you, it's not us. So, and I again, I've been a software engineer for decades. I've seen this over and over and over. And when you have large companies that are siloed like that, this is just the side effect. So it'll get resolved. It's just going to take a while. And what I might end up having to do is have the games on just a different channel for the time being, or different live stream or something. Well, I'll figure something out. But yeah, so talking more about the live stream stuff, I've been using AI a lot to help me program things in areas that I have no experience in doing. It's actually been quite incredible, kind of getting into what they're calling vibe coding. And yeah, this particular software, Streamer.bot, uses a language called C sharp. And I don't really know it that well. I've programmed in it before, many, many years ago. But yeah, I just use the AI to help me write some of the pieces of the code. And there's three areas where code has to run. So there's different codes or different pieces of the entire picture that have to be written. And so the AI is helping me do that, which is kind of an interesting thing, because I've been seeing a lot of talk in some of my circles about how that AI is eventually going to run a lot of the government, a lot of the bureaucracy. And when, because I made a video very early on in this channel, before the current administration got in, how Doge was going to do its thing. And as I had predicted in the video, I'll put a link. Maybe I'll even put a card up, but certainly at the end, I'll put a card so you can watch it. But I basically predicted that Doge was going to use AI to go in and find all the problems, and then long term, they were going to convert a lot of the bureaucratic processes to blockchain, which is the underlying technology for cryptocurrency, which it's just basically a ledger. If you've ever written checks in a checkbook or used spreadsheets, each line has columns that you enter in data. That's essentially a ledger. That's what a ledger looks like and how it functions. But the key factor with a blockchain is once you put an entry in the ledger, it cannot be changed due to encryption and some other things. And so I'm starting to hear in circles in my AI community that this is in fact the direction things are going to be going, and they're planning to have it all done by 2027. um, and the first thing that came to my mind, and this there's a point to this. The first thing that came to my mind was like, how the hell are they going to fix all this code and all this old janky technology in like 2 years? And then I started to realize, well, I'm kind of doing that now. I'm using AI to write code that would have normally taken me um, being on a team, weeks to do with this new vibe coding technology where I just talk to an AI and it generates code for me. I mean, I still have to know what I'm doing to a degree, and I have to be able to, um, get into certain aspects of the code and double check and make sure things communicate and all that. Because again, I talk about you got to have humans in the loop and you got to check and make sure the AI is not doing something goofy. But my point is that with AIs, they could write like a decade worth of code in a matter of months. So they could replace the whole infrastructure using AI coding with teams of people that understand how to use these AI coding tools. So this is actually something that could actually be obtainable. Um, and there's a lot of like esoteric things I can get into. I don't want to get into in this video that could cause some concern for people, where you have AI running the government, and there's the Skynet conversation and all these other conversations around universal basic income, which I will get to at some point. But yeah, it dawned on me that actually they really could do it. They could do it with AI and implement systems that would be way more efficient, run quicker, make better decisions all around, and do it in a fairly short order. Because even in the last year, I've talked about this in past videos. The work that I did when I was laid off in March of 2024, in just the year alone that I've seen the improvements of AI, I saw somebody do something that I would have done on a team that would take weeks, only took 18 minutes. So this this is something that could happen. Kind of mind blowing. But anyway, um, just really quick, some plans for content, and then I'll cut it off. Next week, I am going to do a chat debate. That one's going to be, or chatbot debate. That one's going to be what is a woman? And in last night's live, I discussed some other ideas or other formats for the chatbot debates. And one of those is I could program the chatbots to be different historical figures to debate similar topics. So we landed on actually having Thomas Sowell debate capitalism for Karl Marx debating Marxism or communism. I don't know the nuances between the two. I didn't pay attention in that class. But yeah, so just have those two debate and see how that goes. Have historical figures debate, and maybe even like some pop culture figures like superheroes or actually one thing that I want to try is have Darth Vader debate Obi-Wan Kenobi on how to rule a multi-planetary society and keep the peace. So I think that'd be kind of fun just to see how that all happens, because the AI's got all those figures, all that literature and all the dialogue and everything ever said, uttered, spoken, written is in its brain. And I could draw on that very easily. Wouldn't take a lot of extra effort beyond what I did with Manny and Gloria, the red pill and feminist chatbots that I've set up. And I actually set them up again last night to do a version of baby deletion debate, because that was the very first one I did, and it was okay. But yeah, it was much more heated. um, on the live last night. So I kind of got those dialed in. So I want to explore other formats. So if you have any ideas, chime in on the comments below of topics or historical figures you would like to debate. I mean, they could be in different times. or they could be contemporaries that never met. So, for example, I had an idea that I could have like Abraham Lincoln debate, Karl Marx as well, because they weren't exactly in the same, they weren't, exactly contemporaries, but they probably were aware of each other at some point. So it'd be kind of interesting to have those kind of debates happen and see how that works. But anyway, as I do in these things, I'm rambling. It's time to cut it off. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate everybody's support. We had a couple channel members. We had Night Owl and Dude Seriously on the live last night who threw a lot of stuff at me. Um, Glad to see Night Owl's learning a lot about AI and sharing what he's learning with me. So that's why I do this. Really enjoy that. Enjoy to see that. I've got some cool stuff coming up with video, how to use video technology to add capability to your likeness. And you're going to start to see more things with my face coming up on the thumbnails here pretty soon, and I'll start to demonstrate how I do that. Um, but anyway, consider supporting the channel if you like this content. Become a channel member or throw a thanks on a video if you like it, or just like and subscribe to tell the algorithm that you just want to see more of this. But in the meantime, peace.